Okay, so when it comes to actually showing up on social media to really grow your business, let me just ask you this one thing. Are your palms sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy? There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom, spaghetti. Okay, I'm not a rapper, but if you got that, I totally got you. Or if you're not actually following along with my Eminem rap, let me ask it this way for you. Do you have social media anxiety when it comes to showing up for your business? Most people do. What do I actually post online? I don't want to show my face. Like, that's super awkward. What if people make fun of me? Guys, I just rapped for you. Or worse, what if no one actually pays attention to what I have to say? We have all been there. And I'm speaking we, as in literally all of the entrepreneurs showing up on social media for our business, even when we don't actually want to, or maybe we actually hate social media. Now, the question is, if we are showing up online despite really not wanting to, how do you actually overcome this? How do you actually overcome that anxiety? Let's dive into it. Hey there, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of the More Than Social podcast. Like I said before, I want to talk about this big elephant in the room, social media, and really the anxiety that it puts on people. It's actually interesting. I find when people use social media for personal use, they don't really care much about it. They don't stress about it. There's no pressure. But all of a sudden, when it comes to using it for your business, things just kind of tremble a bit. Now, why is this? Why is there so much stress, fear, worry all around these little apps that are in the palm of our hands? Why? Well, I actually know why there's pressure, but really, why do we actually do this to ourselves? This may be odd for me to say, but honestly, a part of me actually hates social media. It's like this love hate relationship for sure. Like last year, I was doing a coaching session and I realized why I actually hated social media. And it really came down to all of the pressure that it puts on us as entrepreneurs. And I know I'm definitely not the only one who feels this way. Plus, the more apps that we're on, the more times people are saying that you have to do this or your business doesn't exist, you have to use social media. It's no wonder why people are feeling this pressure. Now, before I record this episode, I actually did a poll on my Instagram asking what do they actually hate about social media? What caused so much anxiety around it? And a really couple big ones that came up, and I want to share these with you. It was being concerned about how people are actually going to perceive their content and being afraid of this negative feedback or the criticism and the pressure of maintaining this image online. Now, I'm going to be very, very honest with you, just as I would hope that you would be honest with me too if we were actually meeting face to face. But when I first started posting on social media for my business versus just posting for personal use, I had a lot of social media anxiety. I was so nervous. What do I actually say? What do I actually post? And what I would do is I would write out all my captions, I would choose the image, and I would send it to my sister to get her approval before I actually posted online. I would spend hours upon hours taking so many photos, like learning different poses and angles to hold my phone for selfies, all because I didn't know what was right. And I was so stressed about posting good content and showing up professionally. And oh my God, I actually remember when I went live for the very first time. Oh my goodness, it was so terrible. And it actually happened to me by mistake. And I remember that day so perfectly. So, what I was doing, I was in Mexico at the time and I was laying by the pool. I was just playing with my phone. And by accident, I clicked live. And this was actually on Facebook because that's where it first went live. And all of a sudden, I saw my phone. 3, 2, 1. And there I was. I was live. I literally freaked out inside. But then what I did is I just started explaining what I was doing. So I showed them where I was staying. I talked about the book that I was reading. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know how to actually end it. Like at the end, I was like, how do I close this thing? But that was my first awkward live video. And honestly, the first one is always going to be the worst. You got to do the first one to get it out of the way. And that's with anything, not just live videos. And then I got better. And eventually, it took some time, but eventually I just stopped caring so much. Now, of course, did not happen overnight. It didn't happen over 2 nights. Like it took a lot of time and I had to go through a lot of personal work and I tried a lot of different things that worked for me. But if I could break it down for you, there's a few main things that help me really just get over that anxiety. And I want to share those with you just in case you're going through the same thing. And the first one's really simple, or at least it was simple for me. And it comes down to talking about something that's real and something that's really easy for me to talk about. And in most cases, I would recommend talking about your own life story because really no one is going to be able to talk about your story better than you. And I mean, share about your experiences, share why you are doing what you're doing, share what you are actually doing. What are your thoughts around it? What are your feelings around it? Like, just literally just show up and talk. And plus, when you're sharing your story, you easily connect with your audience on a deeper level. And your audience, what will happen is they're going to appreciate you even more because they feel like they know you a bit. And when it comes to social media, your goal should be to actually humanize your brand. People want to see who you actually are. You want to be approachable, you want to be relatable. Because really, if you think about it, when you're approachable and you're relatable, it becomes easier for your audience to trust you and even build that rapport with you. And another great thing about sharing your story is how it actually sets you apart from all the other creators out there. Every single one of us has unique experiences, has unique perspectives, has unique stories. So why not use yours so that you can stand out online? So just be open, be vulnerable, create a space where your audience can truly find value and inspiration in your journey, but also because it's your story, it's going to be easier. Plus, the more that you talk, the quicker you're going to get comfortable behind the camera and on social media. So again, just start. That's the biggest thing I want you to take out of this. Remember, practice makes perfect. I know it sounds weird when it comes to social media, but it will help if you practice a bit. So just like any other skill that you have, the more practice, the more comfortable, the more confident you are going to become. And that is the same with social media. And like I said, my first live was awful. Like, so dang awkward. It was far, far, far from perfect. If you scroll back all the way to the beginning on my Facebook, you'd be shocked at how bad this video was. But like I said before, I needed that video. I needed that first one. And really, I could only go up from there, so that was my win. But remember, your goal is progress, it's not perfection. So just keep practicing and give yourself the space to actually grow. And another weird, out of the box one actually is engaging with your audience on social media. I know this is going to sound strange, but you know when you're texting a friend more and more and you start to feel more comfortable, you start to open up a little bit? Same thing here. Whenever you go live or you start to share content on social media, always make an effort to actually interact with your audience, respond to their comments, answer their questions, have a genuine interest in each other, in their opinions, in what they're doing. And by doing so, you're going to create this sense of community around your content where your audience feels seen and heard, and you start to build this relationship. And before I forget to mention, engaging with your audience also helps you shift your focus from worrying about how people are seeing you online and actually makes it feel like you're kind of having fun with friends. So, big tip for you, relax, connect with the people. And you'll start to realize that your social media experience, it can actually be an enjoyable experience for you and really fulfilling. Oh, and another thing, which is more so if you're actually going to go live, which I do recommend, being prepared, it's going to help you calm your nerves when you're actually using social media. You want to know essentially what you want to talk about, and you want to have this general outline in mind. So whether you write it down or it's just in your head, you don't need a full script necessarily, but just have an idea of what you actually want to talk about and then go with it. You know what you're talking about. Literally, this is such a small screen that's making you question every single move that you do. And actually, a really big tip for you to get more comfortable using social media to grow your business is to focus on one person at a time. Now, usually I would suggest this when writing content for funnels or emails and text messages, which, yes, is very, very important. But I find with social media, we're all comparing numbers. Like, how many followers do I have compared to this person? How many views did I get on this reel? How many comments, likes, like literally all the dang things. But what happens if you remove that from the pressure and just focus on helping one person at a time? It's so much easier that way, and you don't have to worry about the numbers. Just make that your goal. Wake up, and if you are going to use social media that day, focus on impacting only one person, not thousands. Don't stress about that. It's a heck of a lot less stressful and more doable for sure, especially in the beginning. And if you are stressed about making sure that you're always active and maybe you feel like you're literally glued to your phone, that's also something that I personally had to let go of. I hear people are now telling us to post 4 times a day on social media to even be seen. Like 4 times a day, we have businesses to run. Like, and no thanks. I don't want that. I don't want to do that. I have so many other things I need to do within my business that are actually income producing. So I'm all about quality over quantity. And what I do now is I just post what feels good. Don't just post for the sake of posting. Now, don't get me wrong. I know this is a whole long list of things I'm kind of throwing at you, and I'm kind of just blabbering on at this point, but honestly, this is just based on my experience. It has been 9 years of me showing up online. And sometimes I actually forget where I came from and how I used to feel in the beginning. So I actually had to take a second to actually think back. But I know social media anxiety can be super challenging. And being an influencer, I don't know about you, but it's not what I signed up for when starting my business. But if you could take it one step at a time, if you confront that anxiety head on and implement just some of these tips I just threw at you, I know you're going to wake up one day and all of a sudden you don't really care about it anymore. You show up for your audience, you show up to make an impact, you show up to grow your business, you show up because it's your community. But questioning every single thing that you're doing online, what you are saying, it's not going to happen anymore. And when you get to that point, and trust me on this one, I know you're going to be crushing it in other aspects of your business. I am so excited for you to get there, but trust me, we have all been there. We all have gone through it. Now, make sure to send me a message when you do get through it. In fact, if you need a little support on your social media, feel free to send me your social media profile. So on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I don't care. I'm here to cheer you on. And you can DM me at Lisa Ann Coaching on any platform, but I'm going to leave it there for you today. I hope you have really an incredible day, and I cannot wait to hang out with you next week. So I'll see you then. Bye for now.